Okay, welcome to another tutorial for graphical techniques as part of Unit 1 of Graphic Design Level 2. In the last tutorial we created an 8-ball, which is here in the left hand side of the screen, and I'm now going to move into showing you how to create your own social media buttons, which might act as a good sort of footing for you to be able to create tab graphics for your Facebook page, which I will show you in later tutorials. So this is one that I've worked with in monochrome at the moment. It used similar techniques to the 8-ball tutorial, but the first thing I'm going to do to ensure that everything is dead neat and tidy and it's all in line is I'm just going to go to View and I'm going to go to Grid. To start the actual graphic itself and the button, I go to my rectangle tool here and just create a rectangle to make sure that it snaps to the grid, and also it will help that the color is in black. So I've now got a black square. What I want to ensure that the button does, it has curved edges. So the way I do that is I make sure the rectangle is selected, and I just go to this tool here, Edit Paths by Nodes, and that will bring up a square and two squares, either at both opposite ends corners, and this circle here. Now if I click down on the circle so it's red and pull down, it will then automatically curve all four corners. So I've got this sort of shape for my button. I'm going to click off, and I'm now going to drop a gradient through it. So I go making sure that the button is selected so that the arrows are around it, and I'm going to go to my gradient tool here and I'm going to drop a gradient through it, making sure that the bottom circle, while selected, is, say, a dark grey. In fact, I'm going to go and change it to blue just to show you how we could create a Facebook icon. I'm going to find a decent blue for that. So I'm going to start with a light blue at the bottom, and I'm going to pull that down a little bit, and I'm going to find a slightly darker, more royal blue for the top. Pull that down so that it is predominantly more royal blue than it is light, and click off. So there's the start of my Facebook button. Now to create my gel effect, very similar to the 8-ball, I'm going to right click and duplicate. I'm going to pull this down here momentarily, get my circle tool active and pull it over into an ellipse. I can just change the colour of it so I can see how far over it's going to cover the circle. So I'm just going to push that up a little bit, hold down shift and select the back icon or the back graphic, and then I'm going to go to Path, and like the 8-ball tutorial, just go to Intersection, push that up so that it's in line with the top of my first button, and I'm going to make it go white so by pulling back the colours here and position it so it's a little bit more accurately placed. And now once that white graphic is now selected, I'm just going to go to Path like before and just inset it so that I can now see that obviously it's in line and it's as a gel button would look, and then I'm just going to pull the gradient through it, so I've now got that kind of iPhone shine over the top of it. Now Facebook fonts are very expensive. If you want to download Kartika, I think it's around £600 for the license, so we need to find obviously cheaper ways of being able to create a Facebook F, and the best way to do that is to find a sort of sans type typography, and the sans typography you can find in your directory by default in Inkscape. So if you click the A button here, your A tool, and just scroll down, I think I'm pretty much sure I've got a sans somewhere in my directory of fonts. So if I scroll down to the S's, I've got sans here. So if I click that, click once to bring up the cursor and press F. I think that's in capitals at the moment. No, it's still set to Bebas, so I'm just going to highlight that and drop that back to rechange that to S, making sure that that's now it stands. I'm going to make it go bold by clicking this toggle bold so it's a bit fatter, and then I'm going to select it and I'm going to scale it up a little bit. Obviously you don't want it being too big, so I'll just scale that down a little bit more. It's snapping to the grid, so I'll just get rid of the grid for the meantime. and pull that down so it's in line. And then just to finish it off, I'm going to make it go white. I can then position that more appropriately. Select all by clicking and dragging over the top of it and making sure the elements are selected, or I could just literally select the F, hold down shift, select the gloss and select the back icon so it's all selected, go to object and group, and then like I did with the 8 ball, just go to filters, shadows and glows and drop shadow. And there is a 100% free to make Facebook web graphic.